What about elsewhere in the solar system, though? Elsewhere in the solar system, there are volcanoes to talk about. So let's talk about those, and we'll come back to Earth after we talk about the solar system. This is a dwarf planet known as Ceres, and Ceres is in the asteroid belt. So it is a large object. It's worked itself into a sphere, but it has an ice volcano known as Ahuna Mons. We think this material is pushed up and it cascades down the side. You can see the various views of it, and we honestly believe there are 20 some other potential ice volcanoes that could still be active on Ceres today. So very exciting, very interesting. We see salts down in the crater of this thing that are associated with water that's recently been sublimed off into space. So Ceres, super interesting object. There's also Triton, which is a moon of Neptune, which we haven't visited Neptune in a very long time. Voyager flew by it. There's been some flybys, but as you can see in this image, there's some strange little black wispy things that all seem to be kind of traveling in a similar direction. Like there's a wind of some sort blowing this material. How is that happening? Well, let's move forward and take a close-up look at the terrain. Looks pretty smooth. It looks like there are flows there. In fact, you can see some places where it might be coming from. Potentially more ice volcanoes is what we're thinking. And in fact, when Voyager flew by, Voyager 2 took these images, now not super high resolution, as you can see, I've zoomed way in, but watch, over a 15-minute period, this is what happened. Not much there, maybe a little something, and then the last image, suddenly a plume shows up. So over a 15-minute period, we captured one of these eruptions happening on Triton. So Triton has volcanism of some sort. It's probably an icy material like water coming up from underneath. So not much there, a little bit more, and then finally, boom, there it is. Now, these aren't perfectly aligned. My apologies for that, but you get the idea. As you can see here, finally, one last image of Triton. And it shows you those black lines coming off. It's sort of the black material, most likely eruptions. Now, the most volcanically active object in our solar system is actually Io. It is a moon of Jupiter, one of the big ones, one of the Galilean moons. And no, those aren't pizza toppings, though. That isn't black olives and pepperoni. This is actually sulfur-rich material. It's come from the inside of it. Io has a lot of sulfur. It's very close to Jupiter, so it's being tightly stretched and moved, which keeps the insides molten. And it makes it the most volcanically active object. There are volcanoes going off all the time on Io, and you can see in this GIF, Tvashtar, I think, is the one up in the upper part there. Loki's the largest volcano on Io, and here's another shot taken by New Horizons. It's got to be Tvashtar up on the top, but another one off to the side here erupting. So very, very volcanically active and super interesting